Okay, so my mind immediately goes to the challenges that New Orleans has right now with their salary cap. They don't have money at their disposal now. They definitely don't have it towards the future. And it almost feels like everything they've done recently has been about this year. And they're not thinking anything about years down the line. I mean, you think about even dating back to giving up a couple of first-round picks for Marcus Davenport, but also what they've done since then in terms of really just – I mean, they traded like all of their picks to get back up into the draft last year to make a pick, and then they haven't been mindful of down the road. I mean, they brought in Malcolm Jenkins on a big deal. It's all about this year, and I think it feels like if they have to, they will do whatever it takes to get him locked in this year, but they're not concerned about future years. And so I feel like they probably believe they need to have Kamara, but it could have the look of a long-term deal, but it may really not based on the structure of the deal because New Orleans doesn't have the flexibility.
Well, I mean, I'll say New Orleans has always been known as a team that just like they kick things like they kick the can down the road. That's the best way to say it. Like with Drew Brees' salary, they've been doing that. With a couple of other players, they've been doing that. And I think like the 2017 class, they're really going to catch it when those guys have to get paid because you have to pay Ramczyk. Who are some other? You got to pay Lattimore. You got to pay Marcus Williams. So I mean,
that's the downside of having such a good draft class, right? Like,
it's gonna be tough, man. So I don't know. Like, I think Kamara is different. I mean, he's not CMC in my opinion, but I think as far as the importance to the offense, I think you can make a strong argument that he's right up there with CMC as far as how it goes through him. And you rarely see that in today's NFL, especially with it going through a running back. But he's much more than that. They play him on the slot. They play him outside. And, I mean, he's outside of Michael Thomas. He's been their number 2 wide receiver just because prior to Emmanuel Sanders, like, they haven't had a glimpse of a number 2 wide receiver just because Kamara has been that. So, I mean, I understand why he wants to be paid like CMC. And I think his agents is doing the right thing. But is he going to get that? I just don't see it with New Orleans.
So you look at the cap situation in New Orleans. And right now, they're currently scheduled for $252 million for their top 51. Cap floor is 175. So you're talking $77 million plus over the cap floor. And that is already without 2021 expiring free agents, Demario Davis, Jared Cook, Sheldon Rankins, Kiko Alonso's on this list, PJ Williams, Marcus Williams is on this list. Jameis Winston's not under contract beyond this year. Alvin Kamara is an expiring contract. Alex Anzalone is a starting linebacker for this team. I mean, do you go high signing bonus and restructure it after this season and defer and minimize how much of his prorated signing bonus you get hit with in 2021, and then you do a bunch of roster bonuses and like, How are you going to be able to pay Alvin the 12+ million that he's looking for when you're that tight against the cap? And all those guys that we said were expiring, like that doesn't even include some of these extensions that Jordan's talking about with Ryan Ramczyk and Marshawn Lattimore. So like, how do you structure a deal to pay this dude $12 million plus a year, which is what he's asking for and what he rightfully, quite frankly, deserves based on how valuable of a weapon he is for them?
I mean, I'm not sure you can. That's the thing. I'm not sure you can. And it's a tough situation that the Saints are gonna have to deal with. You know, I'm not sure there's a way to do that. I feel like if the Saints weren't in the kind of current situation they're in terms of it's 2020 or bust, trading him could make a lot of sense. You know, but it is what it is. They gotta go for broke here.